Why? Hello and welcome everybody. Also, good morning. So today I wanted to go ahead and make a video, which by the way is going to have no gameplay. It's just going to be discussion and talking about why I personally am not going to be playing Righteous Fire Elementalist. Although I do think it has potential, I want to personally voice my concerns and explain to you why I don't want to play it. So let's get started with the basics. Why RF Elementalist? So one of the first few things is if you search the patch notes and you search golems, Golems received a huge buff. It's not just a huge buff to like playing golem builds, but to actually utilizing golems for their buffs. So some prime examples here are Chaos Golem now grants you Chaos Res and damage over time multiplier, which is huge. Probably going to get nerfed, but that's really huge, right? As an example, like a T4 affix roll on your weapon is like 16 dot multi or something, maybe even T3. This is a very large amount, and this can get scaled, right? You do lose the physical damage reduction, but I mean, you gain such crazy buffs from it. Flame Golem gives you higher increased damage and gives you area of effect. And then, I guess Ice and Lightning Golem, we don't care too much with RF, but these got buffed as well. Stone Golem, where's our boy Stone Golem? Stone Golem also grants you increased defenses. Now, if you go and you look at the passive tree here, an RF Elementalist can very easily just branch kind of north, right? You can just branch north to this here. And the reason I bring this up is this is going to be your first Fire Mastery. So that basically means that you can run RF very early. I think Righteous Fire Elementalist will have the fastest campaign time clear of the RF Ascendancies. I think Inquisitor is also solid for this. Inquisitor definitely has better sustain than Elementalist. Maybe Elementalist has much better sustain with the Golems, and that leads to a next point we'll get into soon. So one of the nice things... Oh boy, what did I just hit? It like compare node power. Get out of there. Okay, so one of the nice things is the first node you can get for RF Elementalist is Liege of the Primordial to scale your Golems. Now this has been changed a little bit in the patch, where Liege of the Primordial now grants 2 max Golems instead of 1, and makes them immune to Elemental right off the bat. So you take this, you get 2 max Golems, they automatically resummon, they're immune to Elemental damage. You can come on over here, since you're going to be here for the Fire Mastery anyway, you can plug in Golem Commander. You now have an extra 2 for 80% increased effect of your Golems. Then you also get +1 to summon Golems. Very, very huge. That is going to give you so much what I call front-loaded power. You're scaling the dot multi on the Chaos Golem. You're scaling the Chaos Res. You're scaling the life regen from the Stone Golem. However, this is where the however comes in. The defenses will be a little bit tricky to kind of get set up at the beginning, right? Just because Elementalist is kind of more of like a damage-oriented ascendancy. They have had some changes to stuff, but I don't know how much it really affects us, so I'm not going to cover too much in that. One of the big things is Shaper of Flames has been reworked now. So the Shaper of Flames no longer causes more damage with ignites you inflict. Instead, it causes enemies ignited by you to convert... Did they change that already? Oh, these are ruthless. Hold on. Whoa. Here we go. 40% of their physical damage to fire. So this is like a pretty nice thing. I don't think it's additive with physical damage converted to fire, like a Cloak of Flame, because you're converting enemy damage. Nonetheless, I'm not a big fan of conditional defenses. This works really good when you get Explode set up, right? Problem with Explode setup is when you're exploding, things should be dead. They shouldn't really be alive. So I don't think it's bad. I really don't. You know, I think it's definitely all right. But here are some of the issues I see. So I think RF Elementalist will cruise through the campaign, have a really fast Act 1, extremely fast Act 2, really fast Act 3, Act 4, you know, all throughout the campaign will be great. T1 maps through T5 maps are going to be great. You're just going to zip through everything with your RF. It's going to burn literally everything. Yellow maps, I think the same thing will happen. You don't really need super good defensive layers at that stage yet. You should have really high recovery just from the Stone Golems with all of the effects from, like, you know, we were talking about before, Golem Commander and Liege of the Primordial. However, when you hit your red maps and you're trying to farm red maps, I have no doubt that you will do like 2.5 to 3 times the damage of an RF Chieftain with no gear. But you now have to chase a source of explode. Why? Because no matter how much you push RF's damage, you typically get stuck in this 5 to like 7k life range, and the only way you can really kind of scale that life without breaking the budget is breaking the budget and becoming like an attribute stacker, you know, going ivory tower, etc. So you're going to be kind of hard stuck at that life, like that life threshold, unless you really want to overcommit to the build, which some people like to do, like I do with RF Chieftain. The issue here that happens is you now need to scale and explode. So you have to give up your body armor for like a Crusader mod. You'll have to hunt for a drop off Uber Awakener, which is like Oriath's End. RF Chieftain is just gonna like on a 4-link not do that much damage, but trigger and explode, and the Hinakora Ignite Prolif will just carry everything, right? Whereas RF Elementalist will have a much more damage in general. You can map with very little damage as long as you understand how to scale your explodes, and you can clear maps lightning fast until you get to the boss, and then you're kind of sluggish. So this is where I kind of think that if you play RF Elementalist, you're really going to like it up to a certain point, and then you're going to be stuck in the bracket of like, how do I scale my damage further? Just like every single RF build kind of hits that. But Chieftain, even though Chieftain is in that category, their Ignite Prolif is just clearing everything, no problem, right? So that's kind of my take on Elementalist. To TLDR it, I think it's a very front-loaded Ascendancy. I think people are going to have a lot of fun with it, but I think you're going to not necessarily hit a wall, but it will start to fall apart a little bit. And we didn't actually even get into the golem situation. I do foresee a scenario where the golems do die a lot, and yes, they do get resummoned. I don't really know if I want to sacrifice, you know, 4 links on my character for the golems. I think they're worth it for the gear, but it just seems kind of gimmicky running around with the golems. I don't know, it's just not really like I guess the class fantasy that I'm kind of interested in. But I think the numbers will look good, and I'm happy about that, right? I'm definitely happy about that. Anyway, that's pretty much about it. I'm still working on the RF POB here. We have nice, really nice loadouts we're doing this go around for much better progression overall. But anyway, that's going to be it for me. So hope you guys had a wonderful time. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. If you liked it, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to continue working on the RF POBs and updating the website. Take care. See you guys all on Friday.